I have deep knowledge of the new sciences geological. I've instruction, material, physical, and structural. I know dear Howie's Zussman and all classes symmetrical, cubic, hex, and tetra, orthogono, and triclinical. And I'm familiar, of course, with subjects geochemical. From boron to ytterbium, I've worked the isotopical. Basalts from Earth, the Moon, and Mars, I made in tooth and sections. To zap with tiny ions for trace element detections. To zap with tiny ions for trace element detections. To zap with tiny ions for trace element detections. To zap with tiny ions for trace element detections. I'm quite astute at petrography and textural analysis. All pronouns dictate taxotic with barely a paralysis. To chart the evolution of Conodont taxonomical would hardly tax my knowledge of that science geological. To chart the evolution of Conodont taxonomical would hardly tax my knowledge of that science geological. I've memorized Sir Hutton and Sir Lyell's old hypotheses. I'll recite Sino-Darwin and a litany of John McPhee's. I can correct the estimate of Earth by Herodotus, sketch the world's inspires of Calyptraphorus velatus. My eye can tell a Gothel's map from Smith or King or Affini, or tell an image taken by Apollo to Cassini. Then I can chart the coordinates of any major resource ore. In latitude and longitude datum or even semaphore. In latitude and longitude datum or even semaphore. In latitude and longitude datum and even semaphore. In latitude and longitude datum or even semaphore. I'll describe the etymology of gypsum and of hyperthene, and why the stuffs of silicates now titanite instead of sphene. So ask away on any matter, real or hypothetical. I'm quite the font of knowledge of that science geological. So ask away on any matter, real or hypothetical. I'm quite the font of knowledge of that science geological. I think I know the difference between a tektite and a kimberlite, and whether that's really gold or just a bucket load of marcasite. When I've published both an article and rebuttal to a critic on whether or not the Earth was ever enriched or chondritic. When I decide between becoming a lumper or a splitter. When I finally have funding to buy my ion emitter. In short, from this recounting of the enlightenment I wield. You'll find among geologists I am outstanding in my field. You'll find among geologists I am outstanding in my field. You'll find among geologists I am outstanding in my field. You'll find among geologists I am outstanding in my field. Now all of this experience recited bright and clearly is but a taste of what I can expand upon quite readily, but still in matters material, physical, and structural, I have some knowledge of the grand old science geological. But still in matters material, physical, and structural, I have some knowledge of the grand old science geological.